What's up, guys? Here we go into a video on Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. And this is where Joshua very likely thinks the fight is going to take place. And this is where Teofimo Lopez got, or rather Lomachenko got tripped up against Teofimo Lopez, right? Trying to get into this position and getting caught, getting lead foot dominance, right? Now, Usyk is a pretty good fighter. And I think that Joshua is he doesn't have a lot of experience. This being one of his, his only southpaw win in the professional ranks against Charles Martin. And he didn't even knock that guy out. He dropped him twice, penduluming in the middle of pendulum. Excellent timing. Beautiful shot. But the guy was fine, right? Usyk's smaller, so maybe he hits Usyk harder, whatever. But we got some clips that we're going to be taking a look at here. And there's not a lot of video of Joshua fighting southpaws, right? So we're going to be taking a look at Pulev. And this is going to be one of those strategies I think that Joshua's going to be looking to use against Usyk as well, right? When he goes to get lead foot dominance, not only is he going to be able to catch him just with the lead right hand into that position, but catching him with a possible pull counter. So I think this is going to be one of his main strategies and main sources of offense, or rather maybe to control the space between him and Usyk, because I don't think that punch is going to land very many times, but it'll still be a punch that he looks to throw, and it'll still be a punch that has a massive impact on the fight. Again, Teofimo Lopez didn't land very many uppercuts against Lomachenko, but the threat of the uppercut kept Lomachenko honest, kept Lomachenko from jumping off the front foot, taking the lead foot dominance, yada, yada, yada. So it'll give Joshua an opportunity to to create space, to not fall behind, I want to say. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But he's not very good going forward. Okay, now the other punch that he's going to be good with, the uppercut here. Okay, now you can do that going forwards, you can do that going backwards. He does take a step into Pulev's line here, getting real deep in there. Back foot jab, shooting his weight all the way to the back foot. Really excellent shot into the uppercut here. So I expect him to be able to use the uppercut in the fight pretty effectively as well. Now, one thing that's very dangerous for him is when he throws these punches, he's falling off balance, okay? Even in the ones that he's landing, very similar to Pacquiao, as fighters are learning how to get more and more power, more and more power is easy to find when you know the rules, right? But having good technique, right? Understanding what you're supposed to be doing to generate that power, and to continue increasing it in a manner that's still consistent with boxing, right? And as we can see, he's kind of falling a little bit off balance when he throws that shot. And that's going to be a little bit important later, but one thing I want to point out here he is very basic setup, 1-1-2s, right? Stepping with his jab, step, pendulum into the right hand, right? Very easy, very predictable. And this is why I think that his offense going forward is not really going to be it's not going to be existent against Usyk. I think that Usyk is going to be too good with his pull counters, too good countering the jab, too good getting lead foot dominance, because Joshua's going to be really easy to time. Now, Joshua has a pretty decent jab. It's pretty quick, so it may take Usyk a round or two to find it, get control of the jab, but I do expect that to be something he does. Now, here is Usyk getting timed on the front foot. Now, I chose the Bellew fight because I think that stylistically they're very similar, Anthony Joshua and Tony here. And I don't think that, obviously, Tony is as big, he hits as hard. He may not even exactly be as fast. But the boxing skill, the level of talent, for however hard Joshua works to bridge the gap between him and other fighters with someone like Tony here, I think it's very comparable, okay? And here we see Usyk has a problem. He likes to get into a rhythm, okay, where he starts jumping into his punches rather than crossing the line with head movement, right, or slipping and rolling, right, and crossing the line with feinting and probing. Sometimes when he tries to get into rhythm, he kind of just does this jumping thing where he kind of so weaves his hand out there, right, to try to get into, I call it pendulum, get into your rhythm, right, so he can start crossing the line faster and hitting harder and getting that lead foot dominance. And there he was getting timed there, okay? Now, here, Tony here is using very similar tactic, right? Double jab, trying to press forward, no real defense, or no real, like, not a lot of movement needed from Usyk here to get away from it, right? Pretty easy to control. I even think he tries to counter if the right hand were to come. Now, here he is pivoting on the front foot, and I want you to pay attention to the rhythm of his body, okay? Shooting that jab and then pendulum, shooting that jab, and look at him getting in the air, right? This is that more exaggerated version of what I was talking about, him jumping into that, and here he is getting countered again. Now, Joshua has more reach. Joshua, again, I think is a little faster. He's going to be a little sharper. And I think that if Usyk uses this tactic of circling out, right, because he does want to get lead foot dominance, but he's not attacking here, right? He's coming in with the cross instead, controlling the space. He's not scoring, right? He's still setting up to score. So if he spends a lot of time pivoting on the front foot and circling around on the front foot, I don't want to say like making fun of him dancing, right? But not scoring. I think Joshua's going to be able to land that punch, okay? I think that's going to be something very dangerous for him, and he needs to be very careful. Now, here's another problem. He's not always able to attack as he gets into this position or as he leaves this position, right? So early when he's feinting and probing and trying to find his range, he's going to be very susceptible, especially to body shots or punches as his opponent gets into that position. Now, one good thing for him, this is how he looks to check that position. Unlike Charles Martin, who was penduluming right into it, Usyk is going to be able to see that coming. He's going to be able to see that Joshua is looking to set up his pull counter, right? When Usyk leans onto this position here, he's going to be showing him that left hand, and that may be enough to show Usyk that the pull counter is coming, the uppercut is coming, right? And this is another problem, again, that Lomachenko was having. He didn't feel comfortable getting to this position or attacking Teofimo Lopez from this position. His focus, again, was immediately penduluming, getting off the line with the stronger, younger guy, whatever, but not setting it up. Now, again, Usyk with that very predictable rhythm, right? Boom, boom, jumping in, getting caught. Again, this is something that I do think that could be a problem for Usyk. Now, moving on. Here he is moving into that position with a straight left hand. Now, that opening is not always going to be open for his opponents, right? Usyk learns, and once he realizes, oh, his opponent's moving into the front foot with him, he just has to land a good shot too, right? And I do think that Usyk is he's a very, very, very smart fighter. He's a very, very, very good fighter. I don't think any fighter on the planet assesses what situation he is in better than Usyk. I think that, and understanding the tempo and the rhythm of the fight, understanding, there's a term for this, but anyway, we'll talk about it later. If you're interested in full Patreon video, there's like 2 hours of film study. We watch all the fights that we're going over right now. And we're going to see clips from most of them too. But here we go. Shooting this shot. Now, the very easy and predictable rhythm, right? 1-1-2. And then, again, look at Bellew's back leg as it drags forward as he tries to catch up to his body mechanics because he shoots that right hand with so much power and less technique, and then gets caught on the line with Usyk. And now, just like Joshua, right, who has a pretty decent back foot position, right, Usyk has a pretty decent pull counter, pretty good rhythm. It's not the best, but the fact that he's able to get off the line, pull, and then back onto the line with a shot is more impressive than his technique is detrimental, okay? He's still able to achieve on the same beat and rhythm that he's supposed to, the positions to strike his opponent before he's able to exit that position. And Usyk still able to do that. Now, sure, it could be better, but we're going to talk about that a little later. Here, uppercut. Something that Usyk needs to be careful of because Joshua is bigger. He has more reach. That uppercut is more dangerous because it's going to be if it's 1 inch longer of an uppercut, that's a huge difference on the inside. Anyway, it's going to be a huge problem for him. The uppercut may be a massive source of offense for Joshua if he can find an opportunity to let those uppercuts go. Now, something that Joshua wants to avoid, playing on the line with Usyk. Okay? Joshua is a back foot fighter. He's going to be much more prepared to fight Usyk on the back foot rather than the front foot. And Usyk is a much better front foot fighter than he is a back foot fighter. But I think that Usyk is a better back foot fighter than Joshua is a front foot fighter. I think that Usyk is a better front foot fighter than Joshua is a back foot fighter. But again, just like the Ugas thing, right? Ugas and Pacquiao, I don't necessarily think that this is a great matchup for either fighter in particular. But having size and having, power, having a little bit of reach, it changes the dynamic of what speed and timing is, right? It's basically like, well, your rhythm and timing is just so much easier, right? Anyway, anyone who fights, you understand what I'm talking about. So the person who's smaller has to be just that much better. And that much difference at this level is so much harder to come by, right? Anyway, here's Joshua coming forward, shooting the jab, his head on the front foot. Again, getting his weight to the front foot, his weight on the front foot, something I think is going to be very dangerous for him and his jab because he also steps with it, right? Or he gets his weight to the front foot. Now, Joshua being an excellent fighter, moving away, right? Circling away from his opponents. I think he's a very good fighter, moving away, circling away. His uppercut is his best punch. That's a back foot punch. His best attack is the pull counter from the back foot, right? All of his best things come from the back foot. Even his jab comes from the back foot as he looks to stab forward and get his head on that front foot, right? Using the momentum of his weight going forward to get just a little bit more power into it, right? Just a little more stab into it. Now, got a couple more clips. Here's Joshua trying to set up that pull counter against Pulev with excellent timing, excellent patience, and, pretty good body mechanics. Here he is trying to get to the front foot here, draw that shot out, and nothing comes. So he pendulum slips back to the back foot, gets attacked on the back foot, controls that front hand, pushes it away. He's looking for a pull counter, right? But he's already on the back foot. There's nowhere to pull counter, and he didn't shoot the shot over the top. He missed his opportunity. So now he controls him, gets him back to the back foot, gets on the front foot, and waits for Pulev to bring his weight forward again into the jab, and then pull counters him. Just a beautiful shot. And Joshua's so capable of understanding where he is when he's setting that pull counter up. Okay, now again, that's going to be very, very important for the fight with Usyk because it shows that he understands where he is in all of these positions, and it's in relation to his opponent. Okay, these are all very, very important ideas. And unfortunately, I want to say that also means that it might also be why this fight is a stinker. It might be one of those fights where there's just not a lot of punches. There's not a lot going on because no one wants to get hit. No one wants to get hurt, right? So I don't know how good of a fight this is going to be, but this is going to be an awesome technical fight until someone starts taking damage, until someone gets caught with a good shot. Now, this clip, Joshua shooting the jab, peeling to the back foot, excellent body mechanics. Shooting the jab, peeling to the back foot, pull counter, right? Same motion here, trying to draw that same jab, right? So now he shoots the jab. Hey, show me that jab again, so he can shoot the right hand over the top. Loses his balance again. Again, Usyk with the excellent pull counter. I think that's the right hand exchange is the right hand left hand exchange is gonna favor Usyk. Again, I think he's gonna be able to draw that pull counter up, but no left hook here. Uppercut again, uppercut again, uppercut again. No left hooks, no left hands from Joshua. How good is Joshua going to be able to control the space between him and Usyk if he doesn't have a left hook to throw? If he doesn't have a left hook to the body or a left cross, right? Why is he not re-entering the line with his left hand? Why is he resetting in front of his opponent with an uppercut? Finally a left hook. A little bit of a pendulum left hook here. But in any case, I want to draw attention to the idea that his left hand is not nearly as developed. And again, it's one of the reasons why he's not a front foot fighter, why I think he's going to be a back foot fighter during the course of this fight, and he's going to struggle. Now, here's Usyk against Chaz Witherspoon, and he's playing with his jab here. He's not stuck in that rhythm, that timing. He's not stuck in that pendulum rhythm where he has to jump twice. He's improved a lot being able to get on the line, control, off the line, on the line, slip, off the line, and beautiful rhythm, right? He's no longer beholden to his own technique and his own need to jump into pendulum to get power. He's starting to figure it out, and his technique is getting better. So some of these flaws are not going to be present in his fight with Joshua. As we can see, they're kind of ironed out here. Now, instead of doing double pendulum jab here, oh, that clip's not going to play. Let me reopen it. Instead of doing double pendulum jab here, he does the same thing. Jumps up here, controls his space, takes lead foot dominance, and then finds a body shot. Now, this is where I think that the fight is going to be won or lost for Usyk. If he... Number one, Joshua is really good on the back foot. I don't think that Joshua is going to be getting hit in the face by Usyk early, okay? But he's going to be attempting his pull counters. He's going to be attempting his pull counter jab. He's going to be attempting his pull counter right hands. He's going to be using these punches to try to control the space between him and Usyk. And I think it's going to be these punches here that Usyk is going to be able to bring Joshua's head to him. And it's the only way that Usyk, I think, is going to be able to generate an advantage. Because if he tries to attack Joshua when he's on the back foot, he's too far away. Again, I think he's going to be too susceptible to that really rangy uppercut. And Joshua has been trying to learn how to throw that punch while flying forward. Very similar to Pacquiao, right? And this angle on this fight, you just have a little bit different of an angle for your uppercut. So even though you kind of fly it and throw it out there, it's got a great angle for this engagement. Even if your opponent does wind up getting lead foot dominance, whatever, you know. So, again, I think that the body shots are going to be very important. But again, I also think that Usyk is going to be able to draw these kinds of attacks out from Joshua. And when Joshua's off balance, he's going to be able to find opportunities to attack him, find his free punches, and stress Joshua's technique. Now, again, Usyk is very good. He's very clever. He has a lot of things he can do on the line. Here he is controlling the line and then allowing him to shoot that jab to control the space and then countering him with the rear left hand. Just beautiful work, controlling the line again, slipping to the front foot, controlling the line, getting his gloves up. Chaz has nothing to do here, and he doesn't get off the line fast enough. He gets hit with that leaping cross, so he pendulum steps on him, shoots the right cross, gets his way to the back foot, and then shoots another shot at the end. Again, setting up all those punches, just a beautiful engagement from him, and for all intents and purposes, he's just kicking this dude's butt, you know? And I think that there are a lot of opportunities in this fight for similar types of patterns of this fight to be present. Again, I think Usyk needs to focus on the body. He needs to get those free punches, bring Joshua to him by putting himself ahead on the scorecards by attacking the body. Otherwise, if he fights and he looks to shoot for Joshua's head, Joshua's going to outbox him by inches. He's not going to, Usyk will be fast. He'll be in his next weight transition, and he'll be getting hit by punches he shouldn't be getting hit by, and we'll be going like, oh, what's going on? But it's just going to be that extra reach, that extra speed, that extra rhythm and timing, that extra space that you get for having those physical advantages that'll stop him from being most effective. Now, again, excellent shot. And one thing I want to talk about as well, when you fall off balance, you're not nearly as good in your second and third weight transition on the line, right? Only decent and good during first contact. And here, Chaz Witherspoon's shooting that shot, trying to counter that lead hand control and getting pull counter to the body because he falls off balance too. And again, not very good with his second or third weight transition either, and getting attacked with big, big, big shots. And again, I think this could be a very similar pattern of engagement for Usyk and Joshua. Again, left hand to the body, I think is going to be very, very, very effective for him. I think these are going to be very, very common sequences between these two fighters. And again, here's Joshua Usyk pull countering, right? The pendulum shot from his opponent. Now, his opponent controlling him, pendulum stepping, getting lead foot dominance, and firing off his big, 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 big punch. Where have we seen someone throw a punch like this at someone before? Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo, right? Canelo was just jumping in, screaming at Billy Joe Saunders, and then punching him in the face, right? Hitting him with these big, giant pendulum shots. And Billy Joe Saunders had no He had no answers. He couldn't pendulum step off the line fast enough to do something like this. He couldn't interrupt it. He was just so terrified of the giant punch that was coming from that little man that he couldn't counter him at all. Well, here Usyk is in front of a man that's way bigger than him, and he is completely outboxing him in the first round, jumping off the line with his own pendulum step, controlling him and finding his own counters. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boxing, and able to counter a very, very, very powerful and common technique, right? So, anyway, I think that this fight is Usyk's to lose, okay? Now, the margins are not very big, okay? Joshua is a big guy. If he can keep Usyk coming to him and drawing him to the back half of his line, and he can counter him with the pull counter and the uppercut, and he can stop him from getting lead foot dominance, or he can figure out a way to fight and cross the line and control Usyk with his rear hand, maybe he has a shot to beat Usyk. But if not, I think Usyk is going to maybe pick him apart, and it may wind up being kind of a boring... I don't want to say boring, because I'll be really interested. But anyway, it's going to be an interesting fight for me. I don't know if it's going to be the blockbuster that people are expecting, but it is going to be probably one of the more interesting fights of the year, okay? Definitely not one that you want to miss, especially because all of these guys are coming off of their COVID training. They're all going to be possibly so much better than maybe we even thought they could be, especially Usyk, because he's been improving so much, and he was even better in the Chisora fight, even though his outing against Chisora was not as impressive as Joshua's in theory, right? But anyway, if you're interested in full fight film studies, check out my Patreon. It's $10 to sign up, $10 a month. If you want me to do in-depth film analysis on your training, like I do on these guys, like I do in my We Fight How We Train videos, if you want to learn what you want to learn, if there's something that you're curious about and you want, you want to learn what it is, check out my Patreon. I'll be your coach and I'll teach you how to do it. And if I don't, I already got your money, so ha 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 ha. Just kidding, I can do it.